y'all, it's Hope at Crafty Hope, and I am working on the Daisy Yellow ICAD 2019 challenge here. Now that challenge ended at the end of July 2019, but I just can't keep from sharing these videos because I really like how some of them turned out. Now I'll have information about the challenge below that explains it a little bit more. I am working on 4x6 index cards. So that's what the ICAD means, is index card a day. And each day has a prompt, and today's prompt, this is card 31, it is mismatched. Now, since it's mismatched, I knew there was nothing had to be perfect about it, because that's what the thing is about mismatched. It doesn't match. So I took actually some scraps from some other cards that were just sitting on my desk and glued them down onto my index card with an Uhu glue stick. These again are scraps from some of my previous cards, so if you want to see where they came from, you can go watch those. Actually, I think most of those are scraps from my last video, my last ICAD video. So I am taking just the cap of my Uhu glue stick because it's sitting there, and I've got a little bit of a teal paint that I put down, and I'm just making some circles right on my card. I didn't have a whole lot of direction for this card because, like I said, it's mismatched. I just knew that I didn't want to have to be perfect with the colors. I didn't want them to have to match or go or anything, and that really kind of comes into play here a little bit when I add my focal. Now, the colors that were on there didn't really go with orange, so I thought, perfect, I'll add some orange. And that's a Marabou art crayon. And I'm just putting it on there and smearing a little bit of it with a watered down brush. And like I said, this, you can already see it's kind of mismatched and ugly. Now for my focal, I've got this stamped image that was just, again, some of this stuff was just sitting on my desk. And so I cut around it. It's supposed to look like a piece from a catalog where this lady is modeling a hat. So I cut around her a little more exact and inked up the edges so that she would stand up a little bit. And then I've got to find something to back her with. So I've got this baggie here that I've pulled out of scraps of paper and fabric and lace and whatever that I sat down and sewed together to use for this purpose when I had my sewing machine out one day working on another project. So I found this one piece I pulled out a couple times, and it's so mismatched I can't even stand it. So I thought it was perfect for this, but it's got this yellow and orange and green piece of fabric with a purple piece of lace, and it is ugly. So I thought that was perfect for this challenge. So I stuck my little stamped lady right on there with some matte gel medium. It took a couple tries of putting some of that matte medium on there to make it stick because the lace and all was kind of poofed up on there. I did try to incorporate that yellow into the card by using another one of those Marabou art crayons a little bit, and again I'm just wetting it a little bit to smear it around. So I have got her sitting on there. I still had that cosmetic sponge with ink on it, so I just inked around the outside of my card real quick to frame it up, and then I am decided I'm just going to go ahead and glue her down. So I put some more of the matte gel medium on the back of that fabric and stuck her straight onto the card just like that. Now I wanted to add some kind of sentiment, so I pulled out some of my Tim Holtz Small Talk stickers. I think, yeah, those are just the regular ones. And this one says Be Original, which I thought was perfect if you're mismatched and a little crazy. And, you know, sometimes you just got to be original and be yourself. If it's mismatched, okay, so what? Sometimes it works. This card works, and it is mismatched as all get out. So I decided I needed a little bit more mark making, something else on there. So I've just got a pen. I'm trying to see what kind of pen. I think that's just a Sharpie pen that I am adding a couple little like plus signs around on the card, and I kind of go behind the fabric and around in a couple places that just needed a little something something, and I'm adding these tiny little crosses. There I go. I'm going behind that fabric because I want it to kind of poke up from behind it. And with that, I think this card's done. I'm going to let you have a look at it before we move on to the next card. 32, the prompt was caramel, or however you say it. I know that's, yeah, contentious. But I decided I was really just going to focus on the color, like that creamy, yummy, chocolatey brown color that caramel can be. And like the last one, I am just, well, did I do that in the last one? I don't even know. I'm just collaging some, well, I grabbed stuff that was on my desk. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just using some miscellaneous papers and stuff that's on my desk to make the background. I wanted it to be kind of aged and ephemera-like. Y'all, this card, I don't know. I, oh my gosh, I struggled with it. I really, really struggled with it. Once I got my paper glue down, I took some masking tape that was sitting there over on the side and stuck that down for a little bit more texture and all of that, and it works. But, yeah, sorry, if y'all hear some sounds, apparently I'm getting text, and I've got a kitten here, and it's playing. It's not my kitten, it's my niece's kitten, and I'm at her house, but anyway, so there's stuff going on in the background here while I'm trying to do this voice recording. So I took a distressed crayon, and I don't even know what that color brown is, and just scribbled it around because, again, like I said, I just want that yummy chocolatey, not chocolatey, caramely color. So I put that down, and then I grab, to get a different shade of brown kind of mixed in there, I grab a Neo Color 2 brown crayon, and again, I'm just going to wet that and smear it around on my card to give it some color. Well, not really color, brown. I'm giving it some brown. And as I do all this, you see I'm having to continuously go back in and re-glue down things because I was not thorough enough with my gluing, as always. So I get that done, and I'm thinking, what else am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. So here I get this butterfly out. I thought, okay, I've got the brown down. I've covered caramel. Let's add some color. And so I've got this butterfly stamp on a piece of jelly print on some deli paper, and I thought, this will be pretty. And so I pick out one of them, and I cut it out. And y'all, it's not going to work. Those bright colors and prettiness, it just don't belong on that brown card. It just, yeah, didn't work. Put that aside. So I grabbed my handy dandy trusty hand carved stamps, and I've got one that kind of looks like a splash. And I'm using Distress Oxide in, I think, Walnut Stain to just add, some more texture. I'm biding my time here, trying to figure out what to do. I grab a piece of yearbook. No, that's not going to work. All right, so here's some drywall tape. How about that? We'll throw that on there too. More texture. So I'm not only using the sticky part, I'm using the underside, that brown craft paper kind of colored. I thought, hey, it's brown, and I'm laying that right on top of the other drywall tape. It gives, again, another dimension of the brown, and it's kind of a neat, super awesome texture kind of element. So, and I'm just using my Oohoo glue stick to glue that down, and for some reason that glued down just fine. And so once that's all down, y'all, I'm thinking. I go grab these letter stickers. I thought, yeah, that'll work. I'll make something. Nope, didn't like that. Not gonna do it. So clean off my desk, and finally I go and grab some more letter stamps. Now these are some of those multi-packs of letter stamps that you can get that are, I divided them by letter. I sorted them because I really like the mismatched letters. So I decided I'm just going to stamp out some words. And what I stamp out says, don't overthink it. Because y'all, I was totally overthinking this card. I really just needed to put some stuff down and not overthink it. So here is where for my don't, I'm going to tell you, I didn't overthink it. I didn't have an apostrophe. So I took one of the periods from the kit and just drug it a little bit so it looks like an apostrophe. And then there was a part there that was too dark to stamp on, so I just stuck another piece of masking tape down to stamp over it because I was done. I had just tortured myself with this card for some reason, and it really shouldn't have been so hard. None of these should be. This is supposed to be fun, and I was letting myself not have any fun with it. So I'm going to stamp this out real quick, and then after that I'm just going to grab a pen real quick and underline the words "don't overthink it" to remind myself not to overthink it. And since I made that underline kind of sketchy, I just framed up the card going around it with some sketchy lines with that same pen, and I kind of tried to blur those a little just to give them a little something, and that worked out okay. And that's this card, and it's really not too bad of a card. Take a look. The last card in this series, it's number 33, and the prompt was OG. Maybe that's how you say it, spelled OGEE. And I didn't know what that was, and I found out it's a pattern that's kind of like an almond shape that like repeats. So, and I did not want to overthink this one like I did the last one, so I started by just gluing down a little bit of craft paper on top of my card. And I decided, and I looked for things, maybe some scrapbook paper that I had that repeating pattern on it, and I didn't find anything. So I looked in my stencils, and I found these little set of almond shapes that are kind of connected to one another, and decided I was just going to use one of them with some Delusions paint and a cosmetic sponge and just make the pattern myself. That's, like I said, I didn't want to overthink it. Last one was just a pain in the neck. So I am, y'all, this is going to be kind of boring to watch because it's just me creating this pattern. Super easy. Now, I hate when I overthink things because it makes me completely doubt myself. And sometimes when I just grab things and start putting them down and let the creativity flow, it ends up magical. So this one isn't going to be as super magical, but it was one of those things I wanted to have a breather from that last one. So it's beyond easy. So I've got that down, my little pattern that I'm doing. And I thought maybe I'd layer another stencil that kind of had like an OG pattern on it, but didn't really. So instead I turn over, and I thought I was going to put this little key on there, and again, I was trying to think about it too much, but I knew that I just didn't need to. So I've got this set of stencils that I made on my like die cut machine. What is that thing? My Silhouette Cameo that I cut out. Y'all, when I cut those out, somehow I missed the letter I. I don't even know. Somehow all the letters of the alphabet are there except for the letter I, which I needed for this, but I am not going to fret over it. I am going to spell out the word simple using this orange Delusions paint. And I just trimmed away the part of that cosmetic sponge that had the blue on it so I could use it for the orange. Waste not, want not, yo. And to do the I decided to take part of the H and just tape over the part I didn't need on that H. And I took the tape off later, but there, I have an I because this font is just a really basic font. It worked out perfectly that way. So I'm spelling out the word simple because, like I said, I wanted to keep this as simple as possible. And once I spell that out, I'm going to let it dry real quick. It doesn't take real long because I put it on there fairly thin. And then I'm just going to go around each of those letters with a pen. See me drying it just by shaking it, but I decided, yeah, I'll use my heat gun real quick. And I've got that Sharpie pen out again, and I am just tracing around each of the letters with it to make them pop off a little bit. And once I get them all traced, I'm going to give them a little bit of tiny shadow just so they pop a bit more. And that's going to be it for this card, guys. It is beyond simple. Beyond. So I hope y'all enjoyed these. I've got more to come. This was card 33. There's still another, I can't even do the math, 20 or so to come. Something like that. 31, no, 28. I don't know. My math's not working right now. But if y'all like these, I want to see more of them. I am going to be posting them. Make sure you subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you like this. Ask me any questions. And thank you so much for coming by. Bye.